My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Tomorrow is the feast of Our Lady of Fatima. But don't worry, I am not going to preach about Our Lady of Fatima, just that it occurs to me to ask, why are the apparitions so short-lived? Those little shepherds saw Our Lady month after month for 6 good months. Our Lady stopped appearing. Bernadette Subiru received Our Lady's apparition for some months and she stopped appearing. Mother, why? To be such a delight to see you, to contemplate your beautiful face. We are drawing closer to you in this month of May. But it seems you are imitating your son Jesus. Jesus, why did you stop appearing in this world? Okay, some people have vision of you, but why did you leave this world? And you seem to be dwelling on it. And it seems that you're not even going to miss us when you say, Jesus, that you are going away. And you seem to be repeating it, insisting on it these days. What do you want us to do? Of course, we'll be saddened. We've asked you other times, where are you going? How can we get to the Father? And you answer us in your way. It's as if you're telling us to get used to not seeing you, get used to not using only the bodily eyes, but rather to use the interior eyes, that you are here with us till the end of time, but not bodily. Well, today's gospel presents us with another occasion of Jesus saying to us, "But now I am going to him who sent me, yet none of you ask me, where are you going? But because I have said these things to you, sorrow has filled your hearts. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, the counselor will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. And when he comes, he will convince the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. Of sin because they do not believe in me. Of righteousness because I go to the Father, and you will see me no more. Of judgment because the ruler of this world is judged." Up to here, the gospel. What do I make of this? I'm especially drawn to verse 7 of John chapter 16, where you say, Jesus, nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, the counselor will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. Why must you go for the counselor to come? I ask and we ask. I'm not the first to ask this question. The fathers of the church also asked this question. Couldn't you have sent the counselor while you are here? St. Augustine will answer that Christ departing in the body, not just the Holy Spirit only, but the Father and the Son also come spiritually. So this is not a case of a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. So hold on to what you have because you're not sure of the one that you're claiming to catch in the bush. No, Jesus is reversing it. Lose what you have now, the physical appearance of Jesus, that we've got used to you, Jesus, to hear the sound of your voice, to see your face, to feel the warmth of your affection, your miracles, and so on, your teachings that enlighten our minds a lot. That we should be ready to lose you in this form. St. Augustine was also answering, it was better that Jesus goes away because the presence of the Son of Man amongst them would impede the coming of the Holy Spirit. For the Holy Spirit did not humble himself as did the Son by taking upon him the form of a servant. It was necessary, therefore, that the form of the servant should be removed from their eyes. For so long as they looked upon that, they thought that Christ was no more than what they saw him to be. And for that, he was saying, if I depart, I will send him unto you. So you're training us, Jesus, to use more of the interior eyes until we see you again when you shall return in glory. So what do we make of this, Jesus? I like to think of the moments when I have to also give up things. I have to let things go. in our practice of detachment, poverty, choosing simpler option when we can. All these things help us to create space for that enrichment which only God can bring about in us. Avoid what is unnecessary. And sometimes we can be attached to things, to comfort, to honor, money, to even friendship, a contact that perhaps is detrimental to our being united with Christ, with God. Am I ready to lose this in order to get closer, in order to possess God more, the Holy Spirit, or rather, God possessing me, God dwells in me, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit? Am I ready to lose? Am I ready to stop balancing on certain things that I'm already used to, compensations? Am I ready to be detached in order to live that lighter, freer, and more joyful life? So it's ready to throw away things, excessive worries about image, what they think of me, comfort, grudges, habits that separate us from God, overindulging in games, entertainment, viewing indecent images, disordered self-love, stubbornness. Name them. What do I need to throw away? What do I need to let go of right now so that I can remain ever closer to Jesus, to the Holy Spirit, to the Father? This emptying opens up space for the Holy Spirit to fill us. That rush of the Holy Spirit, when you create a space, there is more ventilation. Allow the Holy Spirit to get in. I want to just refer to someone who is also exemplary or has been exemplary in living this empty in detachment. I'm referring to Blessed Alvaro del Portillo. He was beatified in 2014 by the church. He was a close companion to St. Josemaria Escrivá till the end of St. Josemaria's life. Today is his feast day. When he was a soldier during the Spanish Civil War, and afterwards, he had to report to his military commanders in the village where he was posted. He was living with a family during those months. So the owner of the house, the lady, seeing that future civil engineer, that officer of the army, was considering him a good match for her daughter and wanted to encourage the two of them to get on well together and therefore eventually consider marrying. Now, Alvaro had already made a commitment to God and in apostolic celibacy to join St. Maria in fulfilling the mission of Opus Dei, spreading this call to holiness in ordinary life. At the end of the day, when Alvaro came back home, tired, mother and daughter were waiting for him. Guess what? With cups of chocolate ready to offer him conversation. Later, he sensed that he was being led into a trap somewhat, that there was something more to their courtesy. And so he decided to leave that lodgings, go elsewhere to live. But before he could eventually pack his things and leave, the landlady tried to speed up things and organize a trap where he could be alone with her daughter. Later, Alvaro noticed something, that he felt strong enough and courageous enough to flee because he left abruptly. He left the house and didn't compromise in his dedication to God in that situation, complicated situation. So he was asking St. Josemaria the following day, were you praying for me at this certain time of the day? St. Josemaria, who was with some other people, had asked them at that instant, providentially, to pray for a certain son of his who might be going through a rough time, a serious temptation. And so they said a memorare of St. Bernard for that person. And it was Alvaro del Portillo who happened to be the one most in need. And this even allowed a certain practice, custom to begin one more devotion to Our Lady. In emergency, go to your mother. Mommy. So that's what happens with the memorare. When someone is in need, to reach the person with a memorare. That's how St. Maria penned down a point in the way. Son, how well you experienced the communion of saints when you wrote to me. Yesterday, I felt that you were praying for me. How well that young engineer experienced it when he said, Father, on such and such a day, at such and such an hour, you are praying for me. So he tried his best not to compromise, to escape from that situation. At the same time, he was being consoled by that supernatural strength, which is typical of the Holy Spirit, filled with peace, with joy, with courage, to act as God will want him to. such a situation. When you and I also let go, God fills us up. We can do this more often. For instance, take advantage to rid ourselves of things that oppose that presence of the Holy Spirit in us, oppose God in us, even in social media, to unfollow accounts that easily lead us to anxiety, to corruption, to lose God. Maybe to have this digital fasting once a week or on an evening, not to use the social media. If we feel the urge to scroll, we can offer it up and say a prayer instead, allowing God more opportunities to fill us up. Jesus, let's repeat again your words in the gospel. I tell you the truth, nevertheless, it is to your advantage that I go away. But for if I do not go away, the counselor will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. Mother, spouse of the Holy Spirit, help us to also be strong in letting go, in order to allow the Holy Spirit to fill us. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations which you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.